Hello and welcome to the Precipice podcast. It's awesome to have you with us today. Here at Precipice, we believe that we are redefining success and helping you become more effective and efficient at what you do.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Precipice. My name is Mtoro Komedi. I'm here with Ross Griffin, and we're so excited for our second episode on habits. And so today we're going to continue a little bit more into habits. But before we do, I just want to take you on a recap journey to see where we've come from. So last week, we spoke about what a habit is. Well, habits are the things that we do on autopilot, the things that you do when you wake up in the morning or come back from work, whatever it may be, those things that we do subconsciously. And then we spoke about why do we need habits? Why are habits important? And I guess they sort of determine who we are and the direction that we're going in. And so they're important to have. It's important for us to look into those things that we do subconsciously and that help us become better people. And then we sort of introduced the 4-part framework, which was firstly having a good goal, having the right environment, the art of showing up, and rewarding yourself. And so today we're going to go into a bit more detail on the first two, having a good goal and the art of showing up. So Ross, bro, take us in. Why goals? Why are goals important?
So we did an entire whole series on Instagram about this, and if you want to get more in-depth details on this, I'd really encourage the guys listening to go check that out on Instagram. It's really helpful, and we really took a deep dive into that.
Yeah.
But when we look at habits, we were actually doing this series on goals, and we were like, we cannot have a series on goals without habits.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about goals within habits. So you cannot achieve a goal without good habits.
Yeah.
You cannot have good habits without a good goal. So it's a circular thing that works in tandem. They work together.
Yeah.
And yeah, you need to have strong, solid habits, things that you're doing on a daily basis to help you achieve your goal.
Yeah.
And when we talk about habits, you said it yourself, they're these things that we do on autopilot or that we have a discipline of doing. It's not necessarily always autopilot.
Yeah.
But hey, if it's an autopilot, it's a bonus. And I want to tell you guys a story about a time where I got into a really good habit. And it's when I had a really good goal.
Yeah.
I was training for a race. The race was my goal. And I'd run this race previously. I ran a 1 hour and 40 minutes time for this race.
Okay, how long is this race? I mean, 1 hour, 40 minutes? How long are you running for, man?
Yeah, so this was a 20-kilometer race.
Shucks.
Yeah.
That's insane. Crazy.
Yeah, so it's a 21-kilometer or the half marathon.
Yeah.
And I ran a 1 hour 40, but I was like, hey, let me try run a 1 hour 30. Now, you may not know the running community well, but in the 1 hour 30 is referred to as the sub 90 minutes.
Yeah.
It's sort of like this prestige thing. Like if you run a sub 90 minute, you're not a hobby jogger. You're not like an amateur. You're like, well, this guy, he's a little bit above average in the running community. Yeah. You're pretty decent. So like, I'm like, okay, cool. That's my goal, 1 hour 30. And I just want to talk a bit about my training. Like I was running 6 days a week.
Shucks.
I was averaging 60 to 80 kilometers a week.
A week? That's insane.
Yeah. And what I had to do was get used to running every single day.
Yeah.
That was my good habit. Yeah. But I wasn't every time I had to go for a run, and my shortest runs sometimes were only like 10 kilometers. My shortest runs.
Yeah, don't say only. Like that's a short thing.
Yeah. But my point is, that training was so difficult that I wouldn't have been able to do it if I didn't have the end in mind. And the end in mind was this goal of running this race. Yeah. And this goal was just to, every time I did training, I was like, I'm running this race. I picture myself crossing the finish line. Yeah. And that was the thing that kept me motivated. And I think that's important with habits. If you're doing this habit, if you're reading a book every day with no reason for it, you're going to eventually drop it off and say, this thing is pointless. Why should I keep doing this?
Yeah. And I think it's worth noting, and if you haven't seen our series on goal setting, please go on Instagram. found it and see the videos. But the main ideas that we spoke about in terms of goal setting was, firstly, you need to have your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? And obviously Ross's why was to run it under 90 minutes, which is awesome. I mean,
which I never achieved.
Which, I mean, whether you got there or not, I mean, that's insane. I mean, it's 20K is more than I'm willing to run. So kudos to you. And then the second thing is be specific. Be specific about your goal. Don't just say, hey, I want to run, or I want to lose weight. Be specific about what it is that you're talking about. And then make sure your goal is measurable. Be able to measure your progress. Be able to measure what you've done and what you've accomplished. And that's super helpful. So we're going to jump into the second thing in our framework, which is having the right environment. Tell us a little bit more about that, bro.
Sure. So having the right environment is so incredibly important. James Clear, who's sort of this expert on habits, he wrote this book called Atomic Habits, which is an entire book about how to create habits.
Yeah.
And this framework that we're talking about is loosely based on his framework.
Yeah.
We've just kind of modified it a bit. And he says, don't be the victim of your environment, be the architect of the environment.
Yeah.
And basically what this means is we can build an environment in our house or our homes where good habits are easy to do and bad habits are difficult to do.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. You're addicted to chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you are, but
I'm not, but for story's sake, yes.
We can just say it's more difficult to eat chocolate if it's not there.
This is true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the whole idea of this whole concept. Is make it difficult to do the bad things, make it easy to do the good things.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to that example of when I was running the race. I would have my shoes, my shorts, and my running shirts and everything ready for me whenever I needed to go for a run. It was all there. There was nothing stopping me from going for a run. I had no excuses.
Yeah. It's crazy that you mentioned that. Actually, a week ago, so obviously we're in lockdown, and it's been a really, really long time in lockdown. And I don't know about you, but I do know that it's easy to eat a lot of food when you're at home because it's right there.
It's so accessible.
It's crazy. So one of the things that I've decided to do, because I'm trying to stay in shape and whatever, and I can't necessarily go to the gym, is I've put a dumbbell in front of my table so that every time I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing that I see. And it's sort of like a reminder that, hey, you need to work out today. And can I be honest with you? I'm not going to sit here and say that I work out every day because I'd be lying. But more times than not, I do end up working out and I do end up doing something at least. And so I think just putting stuff in place, changing the environment, making sure that it's conducive for what you want to do and it's not for what you don't want to do is super helpful if we're wanting to be able to develop good and solid habits.
Yeah. So there was a study that they did in America, and they found out that the average American watches 40 hours a week of TV.
That's insane.
Now, think about it. You sleep roughly 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
You work for roughly 40 hours a week. And then the rest of your week is
on
taken.
TV. That's crazy.
Yeah. But if you think about it, it's no surprise. If you go into most homes these days, where are all the couches facing?
The TV.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they've created we've created these environments where this room, your lounge, is built for the TV.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you wanted to stop watching so much TV. For whatever reason, you want to spend that time doing something more constructive, like exercising or watching 40 hours of TV, not the greatest way to spend your time.
Yeah.
So like some ways you could do that is to take your remote for your TV and put it in a drawer. Like just like you were doing in the opposite with your weights, making it accessible. We're trying to make this remote inaccessible. You could go another step further and unplug the TV, or if you have a DSTV decoder, unplug that, and you have to plug it in each time. You get frustrated. But it's making it difficult to perform a bad habit. Finally, you could just get rid of the TV. And then there's no TV at all.
You know what I think what I like about this is that we're trying to break down the notion that creating habits is this 21-day thing that you need to do. I don't know about you, but I've grown up being told that if you want to create a habit, you need to do something for 21 days straight. And can I be honest with you? I'd be good for like 13 days. But come day 14, I'm giving up and it's over. But maybe it's not about the 21 days. Maybe it's about having just the right goal before you even start. Having your why, having why you want this to be your habits. And also just changing the little things in your environments that may be the key to helping us develop great habits. Thank you so much, bro. This has been great. And I hope you found this informative and helpful. And we're so excited for next week when we continue with this podcast.
Yeah, it's been so great. And I'd just like to add, we've already seen such incredible support on our podcast. We've seen like the views, well, the listens going up, people listening to it, people subscribing. The podcast is not currently on iTunes, but it should be there soon.
Yeah.
And we'd just like to encourage you guys, share the podcast on social media, tell your friends about it, and let us know what we could do better. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talking about. We really do appreciate the support.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next week. Have a great week.